Motorola brings out the third generation of its foldable Razr phone after a 2-year break. It's a little different from its predecessors, which shows that the company was aware of and able to fix the biggest problems with the last 2 models. They did this by making hardware improvements across the board and lowering the price. Before we go ahead, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. Price and availability. The Razr 2022 got off to a slow start. It was supposed to be released in China on 2nd of August, but the date was changed at the last minute. On August 15th, 2 weeks later, the company was able to sell its newest foldable. After a little more than 2 months, the Motorola Razr 2022 has finally gone global. It arrived on October 25th and was available in Europe on the same day. Release dates for other markets, including the UK, will be announced in due course. At the moment, we know that prices will start at £949.99. Design? You can get the Razr 2022 in any color, as long as it's black. To be exact, you can get it in satin black. In reality, it has a very nice two-tone finish, with the top half of the back made of glossy black glass and the bottom half made of lightly textured black velvet AG glass. The whole thing is held together by a black metal frame. Even though the Razr 2022's tolerances on parts like the hinge don't seem as tight as they did on the Z Flip 4, Motorola has finally given its foldable phone some water and dust resistance. The IP52 certification gives the phone's complicated folding mechanism peace of mind. Speaking of which, this generation of Razr doesn't have the famous chin of its predecessors. This is to keep the size small and the design balanced, even though the phone is bigger overall. Display. Motorola's approach to a folding display has always been impressive. When the phone is open flat, the screen is supported by a system of moving plates, and this generation has one of the least noticeable creases on an inward folding phone screen to date. It's also hard to see under the finger. This is one area where competitors should pay attention. In addition to being very useful, the Razr's main screen is also very well equipped technically. It supports Density Plus, 3-phase gamut, 10-bit colors, and a very impressive 144 Hz peak refresh rate. I say peak because the main display settings menu only gives you the options auto or 60 Hz. Testing shows that most of the phone's interface is seen at 120 Hz, dropping to 90 Hz or 60 Hz as needed. The Razr 2022 has a second screen, which Motorola calls the Quick View display. It is a 2.7-inch 60 Hz OLED panel on the outside of the phone, like almost all modern foldables except the Huawei Mate 2, which folds outward. Software. Like the external display, the software isn't quite as polished as that of its main competitor, the Z Flip 4, but it's still an improvement that lets the Razr 2022 take advantage of its folding design in a way that its predecessors couldn't. As for the user experience as a whole, Motorola's clean user experience is built on Android 12, not the currently available Android 13, which is a bit of a shame. Performance. The show is run by Qualcomm's newest and best Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chip, along with fast LPDDR5 memory and UFS 3.1 storage. Most markets outside of China will get the Razr 2022 with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage as tested in this review. But depending on where you are, you might find the 128 GB storage build or the top-tier 12 GB RAM/512 GB storage build. Even though the main screen has a high refresh rate and a top-tier chip, there are sometimes jumps and stutters that can happen when playing games and are even more noticeable when using the Quick View display. Even compared to its competitors, the Razr's 3,500 mAh cell isn't as big as some of its competitors, but it's a welcome generational upgrade that did better than expected in real-world tests. The Razr 2022 had between 6 and 7 hours of screen on time per charge, even though it had to power 2 screens and was used for general things like streaming music and video, browsing the web and social media, and using the camera. The Razr 2022's battery experience didn't end there. The 30 watts wired charging, which seemed harmless, it was double what the previous Razr had, turned out to be very powerful. Camera numbers for this generation are also much bigger, with a 50MP primary sensor that can use large 2.0 micrometer pixels for better low-light performance plus OIS. A new 13MP ultra-wide with a 120-degree field of view and a dedicated macro shooting mode. and a 32MP front camera that takes 8MP photos by combining pixels. Motorola also includes the ability to use video filters in some third-party video calling apps, shoot creatively with spot color and other similar modes, and record video at up to 8K resolution. If you want a foldable that's good for gaming, we think you should buy it. The Razr 2022 is a great foldable for gaming because it has a top-tier chip, a fast, responsive screen, and useful software add-ons in Moto game time. If you liked today's video, you can hit the like button and sign up for our channel.